does sound like there's still a stigma out there for people to talk about that, but obviously with all your initiatives and the foundation, you're leading the charge in this and making it okay. So you're doing the right thing.
Well, it's actually
Sure.
incredible. There is such a large stigma to brain injury, even though we know scientifically with neuroplasticity, we can rewire our brains to reach the end destinations that we originally could do. And people who have had brain injuries, I know people who've had brain injuries, severe ones, critical ones, and been in executive positions at billion-dollar companies, worked in policy work. They're very high performing individuals, and they tell me their story. And then they follow it with, please don't tell anyone I work with because nobody I work with knows. And that's one of the biggest challenges in the brain injury world is for many individuals like me when I was to my first brain injury conference and it was super depressing. And I really was not a fan of, I felt so scared that I was going to be super disabled. And by disabled, that's a mindset choice as well. Instead of differently abled, I was going to be disabled my whole life. I wasn't going to have opportunities, which is not the case. But the stigma tied to brain injury is still so severe that you don't really see enough of the stories of people who do have stereotypically good outcomes to believe in the possibility of doing all the work that you need to do. Because like we said at the beginning, you have to rewire your brain. And to do that, you have to do hours, days, weeks, months, years of habits, new habit building before you see any change. And if you're going to build those habits, you have to start before you think it's possible. Like my whole right side was paralyzed, and I started by my mom would tape down my strong hand and I would use my weak hand so that I started rebuilding those brain pathways when it seemed impossible. But yet I kept going and I kept doing it. And if you don't believe that there is a possibility for you to build the life you love, you're not going to take the steps and do what needs to be done to make that possibility come true.
So it was almost like training yourself all over again, kind of starting fresh, like you did with skiing, having to learn skiing and develop those skills throughout life, kind of doing that again, but just your basic motor skills.
Yeah.